So if you hit a ball right out of the field, is it called a gnome run? Hey, what is up, guys? It's me, Alex, and welcome to another video. And today, it's actually one that I think is pretty exciting, and a friend actually suggested it to me, which makes it even better. And so today we're going to be talking about embarrassing stories. The best way to, face childhood trauma or trauma in general is you gotta talk about it sometimes even laugh about it. And I'm gonna do my best to laugh at some of these. And I asked a bunch of you guys to send me your most embarrassing stories. I'm not gonna mention names, just to protect y'all, but you know who you are. And hey, if you can laugh along with me, then you can just look back at a time in our life and say, hey, that is probably my most embarrassing moment, but it made me be the person that I am today. And of course, I'm not going to leave y'all hanging. I'm going to share maybe one, maybe two embarrassing stories for that I have gone through too, so do not worry. But once again, that this is going to be me, just straight out, just bearing my heart and soul out there. Brace yourselves, and let's take a look at a few of those stories. When I was little, I flagged down the ice cream man. No problem, right? I had no money. I think we've all done that, where it's like, oh, ice cream man, you hear the do whatever, and you go and you're like, and you check your wallet and you realize you don't have it. That is probably the best, like an ice cream man truck, and you just forget your wallet. You're like, oh, bummer. Like, or I didn't have any money. Like, oh, that sucks. At least it wasn't like in a restaurant and then you're on a date and then like you don't have your wallet with you. That's probably far more embarrassing. I can't speak from personal experience on that, but trust me, just be grateful that it was just an ice cream truck and not on a date and you forgot your wallet or something like that, or you ran out of money, which is even worse. So yeah. When I was a first grader, my teacher refused to let me use the bathroom, and she saw me shaking and ignored me, and I peed my pants. Oh. She then got yelled at by my mom. Well, that's a low and a high. Because I think, that's a tough one. I think many people have gone through that. However, yeah, as far as urinating, I've done my fair share, but that was like when I was like really, 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 really little, and it was in the bathroom already, so I was already there. Let's just say I was too slow. Okay, so here's one that I think a lot of guys can relate to. To be pretty certain that a female friend likes you, and after telling them you like them, they say, let's just be friends. Where it's like, well, here's the thing about it, guys. Just guys in general. We aren't that smart at picking up clues sometimes. Sometimes a girl is just nice for being nice and just wants to be your friend. Doesn't always mean they like you in that way. And the thing is, you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference when there's a difference between like when someone actually like wants to have a romantic relationship with you, and when they just want to have a platonic friendship relationship with you. And you'll pick those up very on. But if you ignore them, it's gonna end up really bad. Trust me. I wouldn't say that's embarrassing. I think that's just more of like, oh well. But what could make it even more embarrassing is if like it's like in front of a whole bunch of people. Like you've seen like those public like proposals or promposals, and like the girl says no. Like that is soul crushing. And for people that are like going through that, please know for sure, because I wouldn't want to see you go through that. So my sister decided to comment, not with one of her most embarrassing moments, but with one of my most embarrassing moments, so I might as well share that. So she put, my brother, who is an aspiring filmmaker, didn't know what pay-per-view meant. Okay, so for people who grew up with box cable or whatever, or I mean, just like cable in general, right? Pay-per-view is a thing. Like, you know, you buy to watch like a boxing event or a movie or something like that. Especially like early days, or like when cable was like to me at least, cable was like a thing that I never knew existed until my grandmother had a cable box. I was like, what is this? We get more channels? Like, what? But like, I would see pay-per-view, and I never like put two and two together about like what that meant. I just like, I kind of like, it's kind of like the things that you don't really think about. So pay-per-view, I was just like, whatever. Like, I never thought about like that it meant pay-per-view until I was like 15 years old. So yeah, okay, I didn't know. Like, I didn't like. The thing is, it's not that I didn't know. It's just that like I didn't care to actually like connect the dots to why it was called pay-per-view until like one day I told my sister, and my mom was like, oh, that's what pay-per-view. And I was like 15, 16 years old, and they both looked at me like, are you stupid? And I mean, hey, like, we all have our moments like that, so you can't like blame me. All right, this is just, it happened. Okay, moving on. Another friend of mine, here we go. I mixed up Amelia Earhart and Helen Keller's exploits in personhood for the better part of 5 years, and only realized it among a group of new friends in an organizational outing for the first time last fall. Ooh, I mean, that's bad. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad because, I mean, mixing up like public figures, yeah, it happens to us, definitely. But you mixed up like two very different people. I mean, hey, I'm laughing, but like, hey, hope you can laugh too. At least you realize your error, and we're just like, oh, they're not. No, it's two very different people. But hey, you found out and you learned. In the 9th grade, I was in an advanced math class with all upperclassmen. I bent over in my chair to pick up my pencil and farted super loud. No one knew it was me until my face turned bright red. Another student yelled. It was the name. The class roared with laughter for what seemed like an eternity until the teacher got them to calm down. I actually commented on this because I can actually relate to something very, very, very similar. And it actually counts as like one of my most embarrassing moments. I was in 4th grade, and she was in high school. So like I was in 4th grade, and I was in the middle of the class. I'm like talking about like literally front row, center seat, like desk. That was me. I was right in the center of the class. You know, I was just I was there. So if you're a 90s kid, or I mean, at least if you went to school in the late 90s, early 2000s, the desks that we had were one of those, like the ones that you can like it has like a little latch inside of it, like you can open up, put your books in there, close it, and it has a latch to like make it like flat, and then, you know, if you take off the latch, it like keeps it slanted. So it was test time, so we had to have the desk slanted. Since I was front and center, so the teacher, you know, she was passing out, and this is my favorite teacher of all time too. Like, I think she was everybody's favorite teacher, but like, yeah. So she's passing out the tests, and like she puts the paper on my desk, and because it's slanted and I'm front and center again, which is very important, my paper slips off. So I go down like this. And as I do that, I'm talking like Chewbacca. Like, that's what it sounded like. And it was super loud. I shot up, like, you know, I was like, once again, I'm 9 years old, in 4th grade. And once again, because I'm front and center, everyone knew it was me. So I couldn't hide. I couldn't do nothing other than just allow the eruption of laughter from the whole class. 20 plus kids just laughing. They're just laughing because they all knew that I just farted loudly in front of the whole class. And what's worse is that even the teacher was laughing. So yeah, I can relate to that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to that kind of story. It happens. It's over. We got over it. But yes, I get it. I was meeting with the family of a girl I liked for a while because they wanted to get to know me a bit. Basically, they had a church life group of her family and several other families close to them from the church that got together every single week. And because of the mutual feelings and me being a newer face to this church, they decided they had to find out my priorities. Oh no. Okay, so I walk in and I'm told by the fathers in each family to sit down in a chair in the center of the room while they sat around me and the girls sat behind me. They proceeded to ask me numerous questions, some insanely personal, for almost 2 hours, including at one point with a full-on floodlight on me for extra effect, which made me sweat deeply. And to make things even worse, all caps, when they asked me why I was sitting so close to her after the interrogation, I decided to be smart and say, well, you know what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Ooh, the dads burst out laughing and saying how proud they were, whereas she was a little less tame as she stared me down. Oh, man. I mean, several questions. What kind of church was this? First of all, they're straight up like interrogating you like you're Batman and the Joker, dude. Like that's intense. I mean, at least they got to know you more and you were able to crack a joke at the end of it. Wow. I mean, I was mad at someone and wrote a note on Facebook and locked it so only I could see it. However, as I typed their names, they got tagged, but I wasn't worried because only I could see it. Then my mom asked me if I wanted to post this thing for Facebook for the whole world to see. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's so funny to me. That is so funny. That's like, I can imagine like the panic that occurred where you're tagging, you're just like venting, you're just like, and then you just don't, you don't hit send, but you locked it. Like, I mean, even if like, I mean, the one thing that you don't want to hit is send because you know that the whole world is going to see it. But like this one, it was like you were strategic. You're like, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and vent and I tag the person. I didn't care. I can only see it. It's only private. It's only me. Yet, if I thought that they did see it, I'm sorry. That's so funny. But I mean, I hope that you were able to reconcile with that person. If not, well, at least you got out what you needed to say. You just happened to do it the wrong way. Oops. My landlord stopped by to let me know that the plumber was coming that day. I had just woken up and have a habit of messing up words, even on my good days. I said, oh good, hopefully this one is frisky. She puts capable. The word I was looking for was capable. That's another one. I mean, okay, I get mixing up words, but that was like you messed up. Like those are two completely different words. Like I don't even know how you got that. You were probably in some, like your mind was in another place, but that's hilarious to me. At least you said it to, your landlord and not to the actual plumber. That probably would have been a little bit more embarrassing. So yeah, I had a dream one night in high school that I married a redheaded girl in a pirate-themed wedding. I woke up and told my friend about it the moment my eyes opened up because how weird it was and that I had never seen the girl before. We go to our hometown's rodeo that night and his girlfriend's cousin was there. I pulled him aside, kind of freaked out, and told him that was the girl from the dream. Like, no doubt. He pulled me over there to introduce me, and the second he said my name, my head dropped, my hands went behind my back, and lightly kicked the desk and said, hey. They walked off, and I looked up to him, staring at me in disbelief, and I had froze, and shocked that I had unintentionally became become basically Hanada, which is what I'm assuming is an anime or something like that. He put true story, and then the friend commented like confirmed, absolutely. I mean, I think as a guy, we've all gone through that, where we see like a pretty girl or something like that, or we see somebody that we may not know, or we just have like this weird, even like a dream, and then you see somebody that looks like that, and you're like, holy cow, like you freeze. I mean, it's not even like limited to guys. Like I think we all have had that moment where we like freeze when we see like somebody like that, when we're attracted or we just don't know what to do. It happens. I was in the 8th grade. My old church had a retreat planned during the summer, and I was so excited that I didn't sleep for 2 days before the trip. You should, yeah. I was delirious by the time we got there, so delirious that when I saw a rectangular shaped hole between the living room and kitchen, I kept doing a double take. I blurted out loud, "Guys, this mirror isn't working." I'm happy to say that there was no one around to hear that. At least there was no one around to hear that. It's all like, I mean, that's funny. That's just funny. I mean, you can just like walk into a thing that looks like a mirror. Like, is that a mirror? The mirror's not working. Like, that's funny. That's just so funny to me. That's actually really pretty hilarious. One time when I was in junior college, I met this girl. She was so kind and sweet. She looked as if she was pregnant, and every time I saw her, tummy grew as though she was carrying a baby. I saw her as I was leaving the bathroom, and I told her congratulations. I proceeded to ask if she was pregnant with the boy or girl. She looked at me puzzled and then angry. She left the room. Later, I told a friend of mine about the encounter, and they informed me that she was never pregnant. See, that's something like out of a sitcom, which is unfortunate. That's pretty bad. That's pretty embarrassing. I can't deny that that's pretty embarrassing. I remember the conversation we had after, you learned not to judge anybody ahead of time. So I mean, hey, at least you learned. But enough of you. You guys want to hear me? That's why you clicked on the video. My most embarrassing moments. I already shared a few of them, but I guess the one I'm gonna share. I mean, at one particular time in my life. Revisiting this, but I had wanted to court this young lady, and I was in high school. This was in youth group, and we went on a winter retreat, and I did like this girl, and I remember this was it was in February or something like that. I was like 15 going on 16, I believe, and I remember the day that we got to the campgrounds. It was like dry, and it was like in the woods too. Like it was cabins, trees all over the place, but it was like dry. Like there was nothing, like there was no snow on the ground. But then like the very next day, it snowed like 25 inches. Like it snowed a lot the next day. In order to get from one like a cabin to like the rec area or like the Bible study area or whatever, we had to walk. I remember talking to my friend, the friend that I liked, and I remember I had a big poofy jacket on. Like I looked like the Michelin Man, but it was black jacket. So I'm just like walking, talking to her, and we're just walking to the rec center. And I remember I had my Bible, which was like a teen study Bible, and it looked all cool and stuff like that. Like trust me, is as cheesy as it gets. And I'm walking and I have my Bible, like holding my Bible like this. And if you know snow and ice, you know that there is this wonderful thing called black ice, which you can't see, especially in snow. And I remember we were talking and walking, and I had stepped on some black ice right in front of her, which meant I slipped. But I didn't just like slip like that. Like, no, I'm talking like banana peel, foot up in the air, flat on my butt. But that's not even it. Once again, I had my Bible in hand. Guess where that thing went flying? Like that Bible just got chucked all the way like maybe like 15 feet behind me, because that's how hard I felt. Like, and I didn't have time to stop myself because it happened so suddenly. It's black ice. Not only that, it was in front of my crush at the time. Not only that, there was like my cousin behind me, 2 other kids from the youth group, 2 kids from the youth group in front of me, and they all saw it happen in front of my crush too. And they all knew that I had liked her. So all you hear, just like when it was when I farted, just laughter all around. And I'm just like, and she's cracking up, and I was like, oh, well, I wanted to make you laugh, but not in that way. But yeah, like, that was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. They knew who they are. I think I could talk about it and laugh about it now because it's been like 10 plus years. So it's whatever. We go through embarrassing moments all the time. So, hey, if I can laugh at myself, if you guys can laugh at me, and we can laugh together, then that's how we can, we can just look to the future and be like, hey, look, there's going to be many, many more embarrassing moments in our lives. All it takes is just for you to own it. That is all I have for today. Yeah. And so if you want to share any more embarrassing stories, just, my socials will be in the links below. Or if you think this is hilarious, let me know if you want to do something like this again. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, peeps.